Every great actor has at least one undeniable disaster, a film so bad it defies their talent. No matter how many Oscars, no matter how many legendary performances, there's always that one movie lurking in their filmography, the one they prefer we all forget. And I'm on a mission to uncover just that, when great actors go bad. We're kicking things off with a man who is one of the last true cinematic icons. From James Bond to Indiana Jones's dad to a red mankini-clad warrior, it is, of course, Sir Sean Connery. His best films include The Hunt for Red October, The Rock, and his Oscar-winning performance in The Untouchables. But at the bottom of his nearly 100 acting credits was an animated movie. Not from Disney or DreamWorks, but from a small Scottish studio that made just one movie, Sir Billi. Boasting a star-studded cast, Alan Cumming, Miriam Margolyes, and of course, Sean Connery. They even roped in Shirley Bassey for the theme song. With all these Bond alumni, you could technically call this a reunion, just a very depressing one, like meeting up at an old friend's funeral. And yet, despite these big names, Sir Billi sits at a lowly 2.8 on IMDb and a brutal 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. But before we dive headfirst into this disaster of a movie, I think we should at least look the part. He had the tux, the charm, and the license to kill. I look like I've just finished a Sunday league game where I got a red card for knocking out the ref. Talking Sean Connery without wearing a suit? That would be the real disaster.
I think I put on a couple pounds since last wearing this. Forget 007. Just call me Double Chin 7.
Let's just get on with the review. The film opens up with what can only be described as a discount James Bond credit sequence. Silhouettes of dancing women, dramatic lighting, and a theme song belted out by Shirley Bassey. It's clearly an homage, but instead of feeling like a stylish nod to Connery's legacy, it comes off as a cheap attempt to cash in on audience nostalgia. From the very first frame, this film is practically begging you to associate with Bond. Because, let's be honest, without that connection, this film has nothing else to sell itself on. After that bargain bin Bond opening, we're treated to sweeping shots of the Scottish Highlands, accompanied by narration from the man himself.
It was only the other day I was out having a little walk, not far from here, and I got to thinking about when I was just a boy. Everything used to be rare.
Oof. This voiceover work is rough. Did he only have one take? Did they only have Sean Connery for a single afternoon? Will someone please get Mr. Connery a glass of water? He sounds like he's been gargling dust before recording. You could sand furniture with that voice.
No!
I know he was in the twilight of his career, well into his 80s when this was made. When the first line of dialogue sounds this bad, it sets the bar so low you need to shovel to find it. We fade in to what can only be described as an illegal animal deportation camp, where we learn that beavers are, well, now illegal. Enter our villain for the next 70 minutes, Officer Mackenzie. His job, nay, his life's mission, is to wipe out the beaver population so we can enjoy a peaceful time fishing.
Thank goodness our Scottish Parliament squashed the reintroduction of those smelly things. My fishing would have been out the window. Imagine they'd been let loose in the Highlands.
Hi, Bob! Hi, Bob! Hi, Bob!
With our villain established, it's time to take these beavers down for deportation.
Get on the road, Jimmy. You know where you're going, but just follow us. The first 20 miles or so, a bit tricky, with the windy road. So, hey, be careful.
I'm sure this isn't foreshadowing anything. It happened immediately. But it wasn't even the road that caused the crash. It was a hungry, tubby driver and a rabbit that did. The film can't even do foreshadowing right. If they wanted to set this up properly, they should have had a group of rabbits by the roadside, with Officer Mackenzie ranting about getting them deported next. Then, one runs in the road, causing the truck to crash. That way, the moment actually connects to the story at large, instead of just being chocolate bar plus rabbit equals mass beaver extinction. It isn't a total beaver extinction, one manages to escape, and this is the inciting incident of Sir Billi. A cop spends the next 5 years obsessively chasing down one fugitive beaver. That's right, a children's film where the core conflict is an old man chasing beaver.
Nice beaver.
Thank you. I just had it stuffed.
This is the setup, the entire movie's plot. Buckle up. We cut to 5 years later and meet Victoria, the duck pilot. For a moment, I thought she might be the narrator. She talks directly to the camera, breaking the fourth wall, attempting jokes that, ironically, don't land.
Autopilot is not installed in this particular aircraft. Oh, and please remember, your parachute is under your seat, just in case.
Corny ass.
But this is the only time she does this. You could cut this entire section and nothing about the film would change. Then again, that's true for most of this movie. You could trim out so much, be left with a short film about a beaver flowing down a river. More on how we get there later. Back in town, we get some establishing shots of Cataness, with some classic Scottish imagery. The highlands in the background, smokestacks rising from rustic cottages, and of course, a flower bed on the roundabout, shaped like the Scottish flag. It's hitting me hard, with some Brexit means Brexit vibes. True nationalism. The town's beauty is established. It's time to meet some of its charming local Oh my god! What is wrong with that man's face? This film has two approaches to character design. Well, maybe three if you count the animals. But for humans, it's either normal person or grotesque nightmare fuel. There is no in between. Even a celebrity voice cast isn't safe. Sean Connery has been given an exaggerated bald head and a bloated frame, while Ruby Wax looks like her facial features have been stretched out in Photoshop, and her, other assets have been inflated as well. As for Banjo Barry here, who knows what they were smoking when they came up with this design? It certainly doesn't look like the voice actor, thank the Lord. Can you imagine meeting this thing down a dark alleyway? Ooh. Finally, 15 minutes into the film, we meet the title character himself, Sir Billi. A quarter of the way through, and we're only just now seeing the main reason I'm here. And we immediately get another nod to Connery's Bond days. First there was that bargain bin Bond opening sequence, and now we have this. A hat stand throw, straight out of 007's playbook. I was hoping for more references to Connery's wider career. Maybe a little nod to his leather-clad Zardos days. I mean, a scene with Sir Billi wandering around in a red mankini wouldn't go unnoticed. But no, it's all Bond all the time. And calling these Easter eggs is too generous. Easter eggs are supposed to be subtle, something for fans of the know to pick up on. This film, on the other hand, might as well cut to a full screen in the Goldfinger and call that a reference. So I'm starting a Bond reference counter for any nods that I can catch. That's one for the intro, and now one for the hat throw clip, bringing us to 2. What's the main character without a trusty sidekick? Sir Billi's best friend is Gordon the Goat. Does this make sense? Well, sort of. Sir Billi is a vet, but then again, does this really make sense? Why is the goat acting like a dog? Why can he break the fourth wall? Why is he wearing a Kill Bill jumpsuit? Why did Alan Cumming look at this script and think, yes, this is how I want to spend my time? And most importantly, why is he pissing all over the floor? None of these questions have answers. With our charmingly grotesque leads met, we're introduced to the next horror. His offspring. His daughter's fine. Him, on the other hand, needs to be cleansed with fire. A Rube Goldberg machine is cool and all, but does it come back later in the film? Setting one up shows some level of intellect. Does he use that engineering brain to save the day? No. No, he doesn't. Okay, what about creativity? it is creative to build one of these overly complex contraptions. Maybe he uses that out-of-the-box thinking to solve a problem? No. No, he doesn't. Why spend time setting this up if it has no payoff for later? It's like being handed a free ball in baseball, winding up for the swing, and knocking yourself out with a bat instead. With the boy now collected, it's time to hit the road to complete the epic quest of going to school. But on the way, Sir Billi spots Ruby Wax loitering on a street corner, so of course, he's got to pull over.
Who's that getting off the bus? Being met by that crazy Turner lady.
This is where we meet the love interest of the film. Not Ruby Wax, thankfully, but her inexplicably more attractive sister. So the question is, does Connery still have it?
Yes, quite, Patty. Miss Turner, my name is William. Billy to my friends. Pleased to meet you, and indeed welcome to Catalyst.
Damn, the old man still got it. If she's not in Billy's arms by the end of the film, I'll be bloody shocked. I know the way I'm describing this film may seem a little disjointed. That's just how this film is. It's got this weird staccato rhythm to it. What you have to remember is things just happen in this film. One plot point ends and another begins out of nowhere. Most stories have a beginning, a middle, and an end. This film, begin, end, begin, end, begin, end. One of the film's major plot points kicks off right here. Bessie Boo the Beaver and her adopted rabbit family head out for a wholesome day of that well-known Scottish pastime, log sledding. I can't tell if this is a pun on dog sledding mixed with the caber toss, or something the screenwriter scribbled down on a napkin at 3 AM. Either way, it's the most intense, action-packed scene in the entire film. So buckle up, or buckle in, or whatever you're supposed to do on a wooden log going 40 miles an hour down a hill, because this is going to blow you away.
And she'll fall flat in her smelly beaver butt.
Jealousy gets the better of Brother Rabbit, and he takes the perilous death route down the hill. Shockingly, this ends in catastrophe. The rest of the freakish woodland creatures mount a rescue mission, which somehow makes things worse. We go from one rabbit potentially dying of fall damage, to one rabbit unconscious, another drowning, and a beaver who, should be able to swim, also drowning. Sir Billi learns about this tragic event in the only way this movie knows how. Coincidence. A rabbit runs into the road, almost gets hit by his car, and just like that, the main plot finally starts plotting. What's the first thing you do in a time-sensitive crisis when multiple lives are on the line? Hold a town meeting, of course. The logical thing to do is to halt the entire town's daily life to rescue a couple of drowning rodents, because nothing screams priority like an emergency beaver hunt. Apparently, these townsfolk don't value their time quite like I do. Saying that, I am wasting my time watching this fucking horrible, awful film. Also, for this apparently knowledgeable leader of the Highlands that Sir Billi is, his plan is kinda dumb. Splitting up the town like they're the Scooby-Doo gang and shotgun spreading them across the countryside. Never mind that rivers flow one way, you can just start at the end and go upstream. Even if the river splits into multiple branching paths, you've got a whole town of people at your disposal. Dumb idea, Connery. It'd be like your decision to be in this film. After the meeting, out of complete nowhere, Billy calls out Officer Mackenzie for his villainy against animals.
Hey, you over there. Yes, you. In the miserable outfit. What? Come here. I've heard about you, and I'd like a word with you.
Yeah, what do you want?
Now listen here. I find you odd, strange even, and my gut tells me that you are indeed up to no good. So I'll say this only once. Cataness is my town, actually a village. Anyone who does any harm to someone or anything in this village will have me to answer to. Do I make myself clear? Eh? I'm not finished yet. I suggest, if your business is not for the good of Cataness, that you leave right now, son. Are you understanding me? Yes, run away, son. A good move on your part. You coward.
We've never seen these two on screen together before, so you'd assume there's some history between them. But no, you'd be wrong. The screenwriter could have easily tossed in a single line about them butting heads over animal rights in the past, or maybe had Mackenzie shut down Billy's vet clinic out of spite. That's basic screenwriting 101. What you got to remember. The hunt for Bessie Boo brings us to a rabbit mother, dying in some rocks. Gordy's dog-like nose leads the team, and it's up to Sir Billi and his magic vet bag of tricks to save her. I'd like to take a moment to talk about the tone of this family-friendly film, because it's all over the place. Doctor withholding medicine just in case the patient dies anyway.
If she can move her toes ever so slightly, there might be a chance of recovery. If not, there may be too much damage to spinal cord.
Prove to me you want to live before I save your life. Kinda messed up. Death isn't the issue here. There's plenty of death in kids' cartoons. Bambi's mum, Nemo's mum, that ugly baby from Ice Age's mum. For some reason, cartoons really hate mothers. It's the tone that's the problem. We go from this heartfelt, emotional moment, immediately into an intense action chase to find Bessie Boo. No breather, no transition.
Well, who knows what will happen.
But you are alive and I catch you even. I'll have you for my supper.
We need to create a scene or something!
Back on that wild chase, our pair in peril finally reach the dreaded dam, where they could be shredded by some troublesome turbines. This was brought up earlier at the town meeting, but it was so inconsequential I didn't even bother mentioning it. Except, the animals never get close to the turbines. Instead, they drift lazily towards an overflow pipe. The film's big threat, its ticking clock moment, was never a threat at all. Police arrive in a helicopter to catch the rogue beaver, and of course, they fail, getting taken out somehow by that duck in their airplane. I mean, you watch this and try and figure out why they crashed.
We've been hit!
This leads to Gordon saving the rabbit, but missing on Bessie Boo as she slips through his hooves. Don't worry, this dam just so happens to come with a built-in bungee jump, so we can reference the GoldenEye dam jump scene. So Gordon leaps off, catches Bessie Boo midair, and lands safely on a conveniently placed boat at the bottom. All a day's work for a veterinarian's goat. With the main villain defeated, damsel in distress saved, and still half the movie's runtime still remaining, what could possibly happen now?
Gordon, I just don't know how you know. Oh, no, look, he's floating away.
Gordy falls in due to cramp, and is in serious danger. Is this the end of Billy's beloved sidekick?
Hurry up, Admiral! Help my Gordon! I can't function without my wee man!
Why isn't he moving?
That's it, Patty, my girl. Well done. You're almost there. Just press the blue lever to lower him to your deck.
I was even quicker than I thought. plot point in and out in a matter of 2 minutes. Jesus. And just when you think things can't get more random,
Gordon, it's not over yet. What's a sub?
You're right.
now that Russian sub has captured our heroes, it's up to Vicky the pilot from earlier to save the day.
I heard you boys. Am on my way. Forget Indiana Jones. I should be called Jemima Bond.
I'm not really sure how this counts as saving the day. Apparently flying around aimlessly counts as heroism now. Gordy sort of flaps around for a bit, and that's it. But who am I to argue with Sir Billi logic? Just like that, Gordy's not looking so good, clinging to life by a thread. Sir Billi, knowing the end is near, takes a moment to reminisce, teaching Gordy English, teaching him to skateboard, and referencing far, far, far better films than this one. There is only one thing that can save Gordy now: Sir Billi's special juice. The same miracle juice that saved Bessie Boo's mum. A plot point actually coming back around? I'm impressed, Sir Billi. Have a gold star for doing the absolute bare minimum. But there's a problem. There's no juice left down here. The only bottles left are stashed away with Vicky. She loves down a bottle after a long drawn out monologue that was slowly putting me to sleep.
Concentrate on the pitch. Relax the arm. Focus the mind. I will be the savior. Oh Lord, if you could hear me, a little divine intervention to my throat would be much appreciated.
Corny ass.
Jake catches it in an awkward slow-mo sequence, and Gordy is brought back into the world of the living.
Academy Award.
But wait, no time for hugs. Bessie Boo's been kidnapped. She's in danger. Again. I'm not even going to question how he knew Bessie Boo was kidnapped. It was like there's a scene or a line of dialogue missing here. Or where Billy got a DB5 from. Did he go home first to grab it, and then speed back here? I feel this film has a few plot holes that need filling.
Bovine obstruction ahead. Commence evasive action.
With Mackenzie now out of reach, Billy needs to catch up fast. So what's his plan? Drive down the mountain? Nah, that would be too logical. He has something more radical in mind. The chase continues through a military bunker. Nothing interesting really happens here, so I'm going to save you some valuable minutes of your life and fast forward through this. The chase ends with Officer Mackenzie getting arrested, double-crossed by his old colleague McTavish, who suddenly grows a conscience and realises wildlife might actually be worth caring about after all. This feels like a wet fart of an ending. The overall plot of Mackenzie's mission of killing a beaver wraps up thanks to some conveniently placed policemen taking him in, and our hero Sir Billi just standing there awkwardly. The film wraps up with a party to celebrate their victory. Sir Billi gives a speech about togetherness and teamwork.
I have a few words I'd like to say. People, today brought us many things. celebrate united and be thankful for each other and be thankful for Catamesh.
Oh my God, you guys too much!
You know, Siri, your dad is like the guardian of the Highlands.
Doesn't really feel earned. As I said before, 90% of the characters in this film have nothing to do, and they're just there for background scenery. But it's a party, so what do we get? Dancing. 5 solid minutes of it. A dance montage / film recap / end credit scene. Really stretching that runtime to hit 70 minutes. You know a film's bad when it throws in a wrap up before the actual ending just to qualify as feature length. And finally, the romance subplot wraps up with Sir Billi driving off into the sunset with whoever she is. Generally not sure she's ever named. But off they go into the sunset in his Aston Martin, because clearly this dead horse hadn't been beaten enough already.
So, would I recommend Sir Billi? No. No, I wouldn't. Not unless you've committed some unspeakable crime and watching it is your court-mandated punishment. Let's recap, shall we? Pacing? Rushed. But also, somehow drags. Character development? Non-existent. Nobody learns a thing in this movie. There's not a single arc I can even possibly think of that happened in this film. Everyone is perfect from the get-go. Animation? A fever dream of mismatched styles and the attempt to capture the human body. Tone? It's all over the place. From deathbed drama to wacky hijinks in the blink of an eye. Villain? A man who hates beavers. That's literally all I can say about him. You know, he's going to pop up in the top 10 villains of all time list. Right between Anton Chigurh and Heath Ledger's Joker. He's not going to hold that sort of prestige. The plot? It has more holes than a Swiss cheese factory hit by a meteor shower. The way we jump between ideas so fast is unbelievable. It's inconceivable. All wrapped up in a film that tries to honour Sir Sean Connery's legacy, but opens with a mass beaver extermination and ends with a 5-minute dance party. This isn't so bad it's good. It's so bad it's just fucking bad. Even its short 70-minute runtime, it's not worth wasting your time on. If you really want to honour Sean Connery's legacy, watch anything else bar this. Even the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen feels like Shakespeare compared to this.